Colored stripes move diagonally on the screen and a multicolored title appears. It says, 7 Saturdays to a more fire-resistant home. There's a colored drawing of a simple beige house that appears in the background. A title appears on an orange screen that says, Episode 2, Clearing 100 Feet of Defensible Space. Alicia Mason appears on screen. She's a young woman with shoulder-length tightly curled tawny hair and blue eyes. She wears a pink and gray flannel shirt over a light gray t-shirt, and blue jeans. Alicia stands in front of a brown house that has dark green trim. Behind her is a lawn, with trees and shrubs in the background. As Alicia talks, 3 numbered bullet points appear below her on the screen. 1. Keeping property lean and green. 2. Maintaining clearance between plants. 3. Creating 100 feet of defensible space. David Hawks, a senior public safety specialist at PG&E, joins Alicia. He stands to her left.
Welcome back to our show, 7 Saturdays to a fire-resistant home, where we're learning simple tips to build a safer and more fire-resilient home. In this episode, we'll continue to learn more ways to create defensible space. We'll start by showing you the right way to cut dead grass around your home. Then, we're going to learn ways to create clearance between plants to reduce the likelihood of fire spreading. And finally, we'll learn why it's important to create 100 feet of defensible space around your home. I'm your host, Alicia Mason, and I'm joined by former chief of the CAL FIRE Butte Unit and now senior public safety specialist at PG&E, David Hawks.
Thanks for having me back, Alicia.
As David talks, a bullet point pops on screen below the two of them. It says, with California in a historic drought, keeping your property green with outdoor watering may not be possible this year. David has short gray hair and wears blue jeans and a light blue button-down PG&E shirt. An orange screen appears with the title, Step 1, Keeping Property Lean, Clean and Green. Under the title and inside a circle there's a drawing that shows 2 green trees.
Today we're going to show you some simple and important ways to build a lean, clean, and green area up to 100 feet around your home. The best part is that all of this can be done in just a couple hours on a Saturday.
Okay, lean, clean, and green. I like the rhyming. But what does it mean in terms of protecting your properties?
It means that maintaining the area around your home, keeping your lawn, plants, shrubs well irrigated and green, and ensuring that dead grass and other vegetation is cut or removed.
Okay, well, makes sense to me.
Alicia and David walk around the house as they talk. An animation of a cartoon house appears, and a perimeter is colored in yellow around it. The perimeter has a label that says, 5 to 30 feet. Outside the perimeter are trees of various sizes. There is nothing next to the house. A bullet point appears under David as he walks and talks with Alicia. It says, drought tip. Instead of pouring water down the drain, find ways to recycle it. The house animation comes back, but farther zoomed out so that the house and trees appear smaller. A new yellow perimeter area appears. The area starts 30 feet away from the house, and goes out to 100 feet away from the house. The trees are in this yellow perimeter area.
Okay, so what's first?
Well, now that we've done the work around the home and the first 5 feet in the home itself, now we need to look at our yard. So we need to look at things like the next 30 feet. 5 to 30 feet in that 25-foot area should be lean and green. Well-irrigated green landscaping, that's really important. Anything that's dead should be cut down or completely removed, preferably. And then from there, we'll look to the next zone, which is from 30 to 100 feet. Property owners are required to clear 100 foot of defensible space or to their property line. So when we're looking at the next 70 feet from 30 to 100, we really want to reduce the fuels in that zone. It's okay to have native fuels, but they need to be reduced. We're concerned about horizontal spacing between bushes and also vertical spacing between things that are on the forest floor, around your yard, and landscaping and trees so that fire doesn't ladder up into those trees.
So this isn't just a chore my parents used to make me do. It's important, right, to keep your home more fire resistant?
Absolutely. It's not only important to keep your home more fire resistant, it's important to help firefighters safely defend your home.
So when should we be doing these activities?
Well, first off, you should never use a lawnmower on dry grass. That can cause a spark and cause a fire. Lawnmowers are meant for well green irrigated lawns. You should use a weed eater or string trimmer on dead and dry grass. And that should be done early in the morning, preferably before 10 a.m. once the grass is dead and dry in the summer months. And never do it on a day that it's really hot and dry or windy or when the National Weather Service has issued a red flag warning. Let me show you.
Okay.
David and Alicia are both wearing clear safety glasses. They put on thick outdoor gardening gloves and earmuffs.
Now that we have our protective equipment, we're going to go cut the weeds to 4 inches.
Okay, so why 4 inches?
Well, it's important that we reduce the fuels and keep that grass low. So keeping it 4 inches or less keeps that fuel down on the ground very, very low, where the intensity of the fire would be reduced.
Let's go do that.
All right, let's do it.
They weed whack around the house, cutting back tall grass and weeds. An orange screen appears with the title, Step 2, Maintaining Clearance Between Plants. Under the title, inside a circle, there's a drawing that shows 2 bushes a few feet apart. As David talks, an animation appears showing 2 bushes next to each other. The bushes slide farther away from each other. Lines next to the bushes show the height of the taller bush as 3 feet, and the distance between the 2 bushes is 6 feet.
So, now that we've taken care of the dead weeds, what about these bushes here?
Great question, Alicia. Just like people, bushes need spacing. Too many bushes in close proximity allow fire to spread from bush to bush and increase fire intensity. It's important that we separate bushes by either thinning them out or removing some altogether. It's really important that we have 2 times the height spacing between bushes. So a 3-foot bush should have 6 foot of spacing from one bush to the next.
So, have you seen something like this burn in a fire?
Absolutely. Ladder fuels routinely occur in fires, especially in the forest environment where we have brush and trees in combination.
Another animation appears which shows a bunch of grass next to a bush, which is next to a tall tree. Red and orange arrows appear in the air between the grass and the bush, and also between the bush and the tree. On the right side of the screen a title appears in an orange box. It says, Ladder Fuels. David and Alicia talk, standing next to a shrub that's about 6 feet tall, and is in between 2 other shrubs. They cut the shrub to the ground with long-handled pruning shears.
It routinely happens where fire moves from the ground to the bush and into the trees, into the crowns, and it's very difficult to control that fire. It also adds to fire intensity and spotting.
Wow, okay, I'm glad we talked about that. So, let's go find some bushes to cut?
All right,
okay.
Absolutely. This is the kind of tree that we're talking about right here. It's too close to the tree behind you and the one behind me, and it needs to be removed. If we don't remove this tree, it will add to fire intensity and increase the potential for fire to move from bush to bush. So let's cut it off.
Okay, and how far should we cut it down?
It's a great question. We should cut it as close to the base as possible, but no higher than 6 inches.
Perfect, okay.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
And this guy here, once we get it down, that should take care of it.
There we go.
Now, let's pick it up, put it in the green waste.
Okay.
An orange screen appears with the title, Step 3, Creating 100 Feet of Defensible Space. Under the title is a circle. Inside the circle there is a drawing of a house with a yellow perimeter area around it. Alicia and David talk under a large tree. There's an animated image of a tree. The bottom branches disappear, and a title appears in an orange box that says, 6 feet. Now another taller tree appears that has bushes below it. Its bottom branches disappear, and a title appears in an orange box that says, 3 times height.
Okay, so now that we've taken care of the bushes, what is the last step?
The last step is trees. Small, immature trees or trees that are standing alone should be limbed up at least 6 feet from the surface of the ground. Larger trees or trees that have understory vegetation like this below them should be limbed up 3 times the height of that vegetation.
A blue screen appears that has the heading, Mild to Moderate Slope, 20 to 40%. On the left side, 2 shrubs appear, on a moderate slope. The lower shrub has a line next to it showing its height as X. The line between the 2 shrubs is labeled as 4X. On the right side 2 yellow trees appear on a moderate slope. The line between them says, 20 feet. Another blue screen appears with the heading, Moderate to Steep Slope, greater than 40%. On the left side 2 shrubs appear on a steep slope. The lower shrub has a line next to it showing its height as X. The line between the 2 shrubs is labeled as 6X. On the right side 2 yellow trees appear on a steep slope. The line between them says 30 feet.
You need to make sure that you have at least 10 foot of spacing between the crowns of trees once they reach maturity. If your property is sloped, make sure to give them plenty of space from each other. At least double the amount that you would give them on flat ground. It's important that homeowners do this as a part of that 100-foot defensible space.
Well, that's great, and we all want to do our part as Californians.
Absolutely, and I see it all across the state, people doing their part to help create defensible space so it makes it easier and safer for firefighters to defend their homes.
Great.
David and Alicia talk in front of the house once more.
Congratulations to everyone at home. Throughout the course of these 2 episodes, you've learned simple and efficient ways to prepare your home for an emergency. Make sure to share what you learned with your family, friends, and those you know in fire-prone areas.
And we're not done yet, Alicia. We still have more things to teach everyone.
Great. What are we learning next week?
Next week, we're going to be learning 3 affordable ways to harden your homes from wildfire.
I can't wait. If you missed our first episode of 7 Saturdays to a Fire-Resistant Home, go to safetyactioncenter.pge.com to watch past episodes and learn more preparedness tips. We'll see you next week.
The opening title that says 7 Saturdays to a more fire-resistant home appears again, followed by the PG&E logo. Along the bottom of the screen it says, "Learn more at safetyactioncenter.pge.com."